Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to the Morehammer podcast, a special early edition, actually, compared to normal, our fortnightly Warhammer podcast where we talk all good things Warhammer. And this, of course, is your Adepticon special. We only get it once a year. We have the massive reveal show, and we get to react for you. And it's the three of us, as always, the triumvirate. We have Big Trouble in Little Cathay. When the new army got revealed, people in China could hear him all over the world. Now he's been renamed Big Trouble in Little Cathay. It's Ben, aka 90% Geek.
When a giant hairy gaming guy grabs you by the throat and says, "Have you paid your dues, Ben? Have you paid your dues for Cathay?" You say, "Yes, sir, the check is in the mail."
And of course, we have our Whisperer in the Warp. We have our Psyker of the Reveals. It is Simon, aka Hobby Waffle.
You should never be spelling
Hello.
Simon with a silent P on the front.
Oh,
Simon.
yes.
Yeah.
You have to change that as we go here, so I think that's...
My
that
favourite
makes sense
airline
for that
is now Cathay Pacific.
one.
Is that the entire airline is in just the giant kind of lantern balloons?
Yeah, that's it. Like Willy Fogg around the world in 80 days.
If you couldn't tell already, guys, we are super hyped tonight.
It had a great theme tune.
It did?
No, awesome stuff. Yeah, we'll get into all the reveals tonight, guys. We're going to get straight into the news first tonight. But if it is your first time joining us, or you subbed to us after the last episode, or if you watched us in the last episode, because our last one did very well actually for the predictions, make sure you're subscribing to us so you can come back for the next episode.
We apologise in advance for the excitement this evening because we might get a bit giddy.
We are like hyper children tonight. Yeah, it's
It's the end of the week. There's been amazing reveals, and we were right about most of them. I've got to be honest.
Yeah. Well, you know that that's hence Simon's name at the start of the pod there for sure.
I need to change my name on the display. It's too late now.
Yeah, you get a pen and
for next time. For next time. I'll edit it, post-edit. The only other thing, sorry, that I forgot to say, Discord as well. Since we are getting more people watching over Adepticon, do join us, because the conversation around these big reveal shows that Warhammer previews, it's always great chat in the Discord channel for Morehammer. So
we have a laugh. We genuinely just have a real laugh on
Yeah. There's stuff like today, so many memes today and different things. So yeah, come and check it out, guys. The link will be in the description for that one. But without further ado, it's been an exciting reveal show. We've got to get into this straight away. Ben, what is it time for?
And now the news.
We love that. Okay. And I wasn't joking, guys. We are jumping straight into this here. There's only one thing we want to talk about straight away here, and we can't hold off today for this because we were not expecting
it's
this.
right? That's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I did like the Kill Team reveal actually, but we'll have to get to that later. There's only one thing that we definitely want to be starting on, and of course,
gunpowder and balloons.
It's the Caradron Overlords reveal.
The trailer for this is one of the best trailers I think they've done.
I'll tell you what it is. It's the easiest miniature to paint in the world, and also the most difficult to paint in the world in one single reveal. Because you got the terracotta statue or the jade statues, and then the dragon who takes two forms.
That's very true.
You say it's one of the easiest.
And the lantern.
I looked at that and thought that there's a lot of detail on that, and actually getting it to look like proper weathered terracotta is probably not as easy as it looks.
But yeah, for anybody listening, obviously Grand Cathay, full reveal. I mean, may still have models to come. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, there's got to be more models coming.
I think, but I mean, all the same, I don't think any of us are expecting this much.
It's like no one expected this. I mean, people were saying, "Yeah, we're going to get Beastmen Brayherds. We might even get Beastmen Brayherds and
we were saying that
together."
We said maybe a teaser.
Ben said we might get Grand Cathay like tease at the end, but we weren't expecting like Leroy Jenkins full on straight in.
Oh my god, it's Cathay with the steel chair.
Is it all? Yeah, it's phenomenal to be honest.
Really good reveal. We got the battalions on there on the screen, and my first thought on looking at that was, that looks like an army. I mean, like some of the battalions they do, you kind of look at it and go, okay, that looks like a selection of models. This, you've got 20 cavalry, 10 cavalry, 30 infantry, and the 2 artillery pieces. It just looks awesome.
I mean, I forwarded the picture to my mate, and I forwarded the picture and just put need.
Yeah, I think a lot of people did, didn't they?
I forwarded this on to my stepbrother, and his response was just, damn. It was the damn of a guy who knows that there is going to be a large hole in his bank balance in the foreseeable future.
Yeah, some things are meant to be. When I tried to order my High Elves, I only got the Arcane Journal because everything else was out of stock. That's why. It's as was foretold.
To be fair, this army, I took one look at it and thought, this is an army that is going to sell out. And then it's going, anytime it restocks, it is going to sell out.
This might be one of the very rare times that I'd go down to my local GW and queue up in the store, because I know I'll get one if I do that.
Like camp the night before or something.
It's mega hype train, this is, you got to say. And one thing to say as well, all plastic.
Yeah.
Which is obviously fantastic. I mean, we're going to look through the models in more detail now, but this does rival like your modern day stuff. I mean, I know we get stuff re-released for Old World, right? And we've had a few new minis, but this is an army itself compared to, if you're going to have like opposition Old World armies, and it is going to look dated opposite.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say this is where we're getting Age of Sigmar level plastics into the Old World.
It's bringing that level of skill in sculpting and production to the Old World. I looked at this and thought, well, I'm so glad I'm using kind of the Age of Sigmar style Chaos Warriors for my Chaos, because I can't wait to see what they look like ranked up against like the forces of Cathay, battling over like the Bastion Wall or something.
I mean, there's going to be...
Doom!
Doom!
You know, the only thing I'm disappointed about in this reveal, and it's my one complaint, is, you know, like other ones for 40k and stuff where they have the zoomed in image of like two together and you can flick across from side to side. It would have been nice to see some close-up views of these, but
but I'm assuming that
nevertheless, super.
As we get more reveals on like the Warhammer community website over the course of this year, we'll get a chance to get close-up looks at all the models and like 360-degree spins and all kinds of cool stuff.
Because this ain't going to come until fall, is it? So you know,
I mean, they've got to do. Beastmans are coming very, very soon, I would imagine. Then Wood Elves.
I think they'll wave 2 High Elves in the next couple of weeks. Then maybe I don't know, some Knights perhaps, or they'll just lump something in there like a Black Library pre-order weekend, and then it'll be like bang, here's Beastmen.
But yeah, this is after the summer holidays at the very earliest, I would think.
I wonder who's going to get one of these battalion box sets and paint everything as a terracotta army with like glowing eyes.
Oh, there's endless possibilities with this. One of the coolest things with this reveal, and we can chat about it more once we've looked through this as well if we want to, but it's just the comments of people saying what they're going to use this army or these models for conversion-wise. I've seen people with these terracotta giants saying about using them as like Age of Sigmar Gargant army. I've seen like obviously you can use the heads and all sorts from this for like an Imperial Guard army for 40k if you wanted to.
White scars. There'll be loads of bits of white scars.
Yeah. I saw the terracotta giants and thought that would be an awesome replacement for the big cow-headed thing from Lumineth, because I'm not really a big fan of that model, but I like the idea.
Oh, yeah, lampshade cow,
Yeah, but imagine like the terracotta giant alongside just a Lumineth army.
Oh, yeah. Sweet. And yeah, I mean, there's endless, and obviously Cities of Sigmar is the obvious one, because I mean, people joking because Sigmar didn't really get anything particularly in this preview, not amazing besides Spearhead, which we'll go into later. So people are joking, saying this is also Age of Sigmar's reveal in a way because it's new models.
Well, like you said, I mean, the quality of the sculpts and stuff and the design.
No, that's what I mean. It's just way
absolutely would
there.
Look great in like a quality Age of Sigmar.
I mean, we're looking at the Jade Warriors now, stunning infantry. I love the drummer as well. That's got to be one of the coolest drums I've seen in a while. Luke? Yeah, I'll try for you. Yeah, I'll try and get in a bit more.
Enhance.
Computer enhance.
Oh, maybe a bit too far. Oh, no, that's all right.
Well, that'll do. Oh, yes.
Stunning.
They're stunning, aren't they? I mean, presumably that's a transfer on the banner there.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
There's going to be a lovely transfer sheet, isn't there?
Well, that's one of the other things people have been saying is that even the transfer sheets will be handy for like anything really. Like it's going to be awesome.
Just look at I mean, like there's things like the sculpting on the helms, the detail on the armor. It's the shields.
The shields are sculpted as well.
So nice.
Those shields are just saying, contrast me.
Yeah.
I think actually the only thing I've just spotted in close up that I'm not as fond of is the blades on the halberds. I would prefer them to have been more like the big kind of curved sword blade type blades from
yeah,
the kind of Chinese style vampire hunters in Age of Sigmar have.
So the long blade and then there's a slight curve at the end.
Yeah, exactly. I think I'd have preferred that rather than this, which looks more like kind of a hooked spear.
What's the sergeant guy at the front holding? Is he holding a pipe?
I think it's a baton.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it's just like a symbol of office, maybe.
Yeah,
but equally, we can't tell. It could be the hilt of like a huge sword or something.
Yeah,
like have it in his belt.
Yeah, because if you look at the one behind,
sword.
Oh yes,
you can see it there. He's holding a baton with a skull on the end.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah. Okay.
So I think Ben's right. It's perhaps something on the other model or a scabbard or something.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, just stunning. I mean,
that's just the Jade Infantry. We've got the Jade Lancers next.
We got plenty. There you go.
Such nice models.
Yeah. And I mean, they've gone for that jade green sort of colour, haven't they?
And, they have.
The red on the shields. I would be tempted to do the plumes on the helmets in like a spot colour. Maybe do the plumes in red.
See, I'm tempted. I keep looking at this and thinking maybe like more of kind of a very pale white kind of jade.
Yeah, that would pop as well.
That would look really nice as well.
Banner as well.
Yeah, exactly. I think that could look really cool on these. And then maybe just keep like the darker green as a spot color, or even do like black plumes to match the dragon lady.
I was tempted to watch the third Mummy film, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. Once I've seen this reveal, I was like, I need to go and watch that now.
No, I mean, this weekend, Hero, House of Flying Daggers is on my maybe Crouching Tiger. They're on my watch list, but I mean, I've got Hero and House of Flying Daggers on DVD.
I ended up watching Starship Troopers instead.
I mean, this whole reveal for me has brought back the level of excitement of when Old World was first revealed for like the big first battalion box sets, which is great. To have that feeling back again, because we were saying, was it late last year we were doing a recap of the year, and we were saying how about there was that time period, well, pretty much the whole year last year, people sharing on social media just like all their Old World projects and things.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be the same when this army comes out. Just everybody's conversions and paint schemes. It's going to be great.
Vince Notley, when he gets his hands on a box of these, the amount of different variety of color schemes he's going to come out with, that'll look incredible.
Yeah,
shout out to Vince.
Certainly is.
Yeah, you got
Vince
the Grand Cannon.
I love the fact that this is like a dragon's maw with the cannon sticking out of its mouth, and then we've got the ogre with the what's it called, the ramrod for the cannon.
Yeah,
pretty awesome.
Someone needs to do a Chinese themed Helldrake and put this on its head.
No, that's what you're thinking. I was looking at this thinking Imperial Knight. Like imagine an Imperial Knight with that mounted as like the gun, and then doing like all kind of Chinese runes and stuff all over the armor. That would look really cool. And maybe doing like a mask over the helm.
It's probably too big for a Chaos Titan, isn't it? Or a Titan.
I don't
know.
It's
hard to tell how big it's going to be. I mean, that is an ogre there, to be fair.
That is, yeah. I mean,
but it's a 32mm base.
A shout out to this old fella pulling this cart, by the way. What a legend.
I'll tell you what it gives me kind of a vibe of. The real kind of like almost kind of Studio Ghibli style Spirited Away kind of vibe to it. Like not Spirited Away, I'm thinking of Princess Mononoke, like the Iron Town from that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it does kind of give you that same kind of vibe.
No,
it does make me want to add a giant kind of wolf to my Beastman army now.
No, you got these are the fireworks.
The alternate version, the fire rain rocket barrier.
Need to do this with blue touch paper. That'd be good.
Yeah, very cool.
Fireworks safety video to go with it.
Yeah, this is superb as well.
I assume this is just going to be
all the crew are different as well.
Box, do you think, and just different options?
Yeah, I'm assuming this is literally just different components.
I mean, I think it says in the battalion box. If you scroll up, it says and contains two. If you go to the description of the battalion box, it'll tell you. Yeah. So there are two artillery pieces which can be built as either Cathay and Grand Cannon or firework.
So you could switch up these guys as you wanted. Then really, that's quite cool. Yeah, very nice. And then of course we come on to the big stuff as well. So
I'm assuming this is a plastic kit as well.
It's all plastic.
It's all plastic. Yeah. All of it is unbelievable. So cool. Yeah. So you got the Shengugan Lord on Great Spirit Longmar, which is kind of like it's like a dragon, really, basically.
The dragon crossed with a horse, basically.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah,
and it is sort of essentially a horse with dragon-like qualities that can ride through the spirits of the air.
It's an Idoneth Deepkin dragon.
Yeah, I know. To be fair, I mean, a lot of this stuff. Again, talking about combining stuff to Age of Sigmar armies, it could be an amazing Deepkin army
easily. Yeah. But no, it's
just
like they looked at the Stormcast on the Griffins and gone, I'll see your Griffin and I'll raise you one of these.
Have a great spirit longbar with a dragon-blooded rider on the back.
Am I right in saying in Total War can they get the Kotals as well?
No,
like the serpents in the sky serpents.
Not in Total War, no, because that would have been more
no lizard men get them.
No, Total War, they have units of cavalry of these. So, like, essentially a whole unit, like Pegasus Riders, literally just a whole unit of heavy cavalry riding on these. And they also have, what's the other one that's similar? Oh, there's like a giant bird, essentially, that kind of fills a similar kind of role, being like kind of a giant flyer.
It's like the Frostheart for the elves in it.
That's it, exactly. It's called a moonbird, I think. Cool. And there's loads of stuff that's in Total War.
You were teasing me with it earlier, weren't you?
Well, I mean, we should finish going through this before I go off on one of here's all the stuff that was in Total War that should be in this. The Gate Masters, again, very
Cities of Sigmar.
Commanders for your Cities of Sigmar, anyone?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's definitely that vibe, isn't it? A very cool banner, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, look,
by far one of the standouts of this kit, and again, that has to be a transfer on the side of the balloon.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So you get the big sky lanterns, they're called, aren't they?
Yeah, I think we're going to get like the mini ones of these as well. The single man ones,
the sky junks, the little
where you're just lobbing bombs out.
Yeah.
I love the fact that it uses flags and signals.
That's cool.
On the side.
Yes. So he can
raise his orders around the battlefield using the flags on the side. It's like Nelson in it. Cathay expects every man to do his duty.
So you can see the bombs hanging off the side of it as well, hanging off that prow. So you've got obviously the option to kind of drop heavily weighted bombs down on your opponent. I was chatting to one of the guys on the comments on my video about this, and he said that the rumor he's heard is that you'll be able to do things like draw line of sight for your missile troops from this. So like your cannon or your rocket battery will be able to draw line of sight based upon the kind of the gesturing with the flags from the magistrate. Cool. And likewise, you'll be able to get reroll charge rolls and stuff for your cavalry to represent him essentially being able to kind of eyeball the distances to stuff. So it will be very much kind of a buff unit. I mean, as well as
like a command ship, effectively.
Yeah. Like Ben says, plus it lobs bombs and
lobs bombs has guys who can snipe.
The sniper guy on there as well.
Yeah,
I'm guessing it's going to have some sort of a flyover thing, I imagine.
And then it gets attacked by a manticore or something.
Probably. But no, shout out to this bomb lady as well. Awesome. She's literally got the lighter in her mouth like a spliff, and then she's got 2 bombs. It's awesome.
What an epic miniature.
It is
great, really great facial work on these.
That'll be, in the Mini of the Year competition, that'll be up there with it, and will this. I mean, look,
as would this.
Again, sorry, just before we do move on, I can see Cara John Overlord army conversions with these for sure.
Oh, yeah. Especially if they release the smaller one as well to be the little kind of.
Well, this thing is just absolutely immense. I mean, when we were looking at the unit roster for Total War on the Discord, weren't we, about the Terracotta statues and the Jade statues? I knew. Well, I hope that they'll be coming. They've exceeded my expectations and then some. These are mega. This is the first thing I'm going to paint for Cathay, without a doubt.
I want I want as many of these in the army as I can have, to be honest. I don't even care what their rules are.
Well, I want to anyway, because I want to paint one like this in Jade, and I want to paint the other one in Terracotta like they've done.
Okay.
And by the way, you were saying about the infantry with the halberds. You meant the end like that, didn't you?
Yeah, that's it. The blades like that on the end. That's kind of what I wish that the halberd looked like. So I looked at this and my thought went again, kind of Ghibli vibes running through my brain. And I thought about the robot from Castle in the Sky with all kind of the moss and lichen and stuff growing on it. And there's a famous statue of a Buddha carved into the side of a mountain in China, which has all got moss and stuff growing down it. I looked at this and thought, imagine painting it up pristine stone, but then adding weathering and batches of moss and lichen and stuff over the top.
Lots
it's been standing immobile for centuries, and then it suddenly gets up and starts moving around.
You have to buy 3 then, aren't you?
I'm gonna have to buy as many as I can have in an army. If there was like an army of infamy or whatever that has these as like a core choice, it'll just be me just kind of throwing handfuls of money at Games Workshop.
That terracotta one though,
so cool. I've been trying to figure out how they've achieved that as well. Because I've been looking at it and going, what paints?
Tuscarora fur, probably undershaded it. Yeah, undershaded it under the knees and the arms. It's got shadows, so it's been glazed.
Is it maybe like Bugman's Glow or something dry brushed over the top to give it that slightly kind of dusty
something
kind
like that, and then that worked all the way up to like brighter colours. Yeah, and they've used the gems as spot colours.
I'm assuming that there'll be like how to paint videos on Warhammer TV or something once these come out, showing you how to get all the different effects. But yeah, I love it so much.
It'd be cool to see how people modularize these guys as well, like different stances, and there's plenty of possibilities there again.
First walk, probably a good colour for that.
Yeah, I mean, true. Actually, to be fair, there's like Peachy's paints. He has the peach-coloured skin colour tone that would work very nicely as kind of a terracotta base.
Because in the lore, there's the 3 different versions, and you'll be able to take the 3 different versions in game, isn't it? Yeah.
The Jade version, the terracotta version, and the Jet version.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Such cool. I am still really hopeful. There is in Total War. There is a special character version.
Yeah, there's a named character one of these, isn't there? Yeah.
Who has wings and a bow that fires magical arrows.
He's like the Cathay version of Omega Supreme off Transformers, isn't it?
Well, I was thinking Gundam. Like, he literally is like a giant Gundam. And I was like, yes, give us that.
He is like Gundam, yeah.
I want them to do... I'm really hoping that this is like a multi-part kit that maybe, just maybe, it also makes the character version of it. Like, or maybe there's like a sprue that they can add to the box that gives you the bow arms and the wings.
Is the wing guy in Total War the same size, just with wings, or is he?
He's just a special kind of guardian spirit. He's exactly the same as all the other. Because the whole idea of the lore, I'm going to get off at one now. The idea of the lore is that this was an army that was built for the first Dragon Emperor, and then like over time they've just kind of been left standing sentinel, watching over the lands. So, some of them have gotten broken, some of them have gotten buried or lost or whatever. So they are very much in that way kind of like the whole terracotta army. They are this legion of stone soldiers that have been made. And now there's less and less of them, but they are still these kind of mighty relic guardians. So yeah, I just love the idea of them being this kind of character version that they could bring in, who just kind of comes swooping across the battlefield, blasting away with magical bow and arrow.
That'd be cool. That would be cool.
I just want more of them. I just want as many of them as I can have.
For sure.
Now this is interesting. So the flavour pamphlet, as Ben likes to call it, the armies of Grand Cathay, obviously not in Forces of Fantasy or Ravening Hordes, but it's still going to be 48 pages.
Yeah, I'm confused by that.
Where are they going to fit in the lore? And like Funkadrom said, was it? I think on the Discord.
It was Michael Funkadrom.
Yeah. Are we just not going to have Armies of Infamy? Are we just going to have the lore and an army list?
I thought that there might have been Armies of Infamy, but I think he may be on the nose. I think that maybe on this, it will be the army list and like the magic item section and the lore. And maybe the colour section will be kind of either cut down in size slightly or kind of folded.
Maybe we'll get Armies of Infamy as a downloadable detachment on Warcom, or it might come in a campaign book.
Or maybe they're missing.
Oh, that's a good shout.
48 pages. Maybe it's not 48 pages.
Yeah, maybe they just copied and pasted that text. That could be an option.
That's equally a possibility. But yeah, it doesn't look much bigger than your average Arcane journal.
And we'll get into
build the whole roll of a whole army book.
Because I think, yeah, I forgot we've got more.
It's Mao Ying.
Oh, God, look at this.
So,
I've been practicing how to say her name. Mao Ying.
Isn't it? Is this like one of his daughters? The Emperor's
This is his eldest daughter.
His eldest daughter.
Again, this is from the lore. This is the firstborn kind of heir to the throne of the Celestial Dragon Emperor, and she in particular, his most chosen kind of offspring are in commands of kind of the 4 kind of forces, the 4 Army of the North, South, East, and West, and then you've got kind of the capital in the middle. And the Army of the North, of course, is the most heavily kind of embattled because they're constantly engaged in wars against the Chaos Incursion, and they are responsible for guarding the Great Bastion. which is this kind of humongous version of the Great Wall times 1,000. But yeah, so she is essentially the commander of the armies of the North.
This is not her and her pet dragon. This is her and her.
Yes,
just depending on which form you want.
It's just brilliant in terms of her kind of the lore, kind of her going, okay, the Chaos incursions had been, because Chaos has been dormant for like 200, 300 years. But with the rise of kind of the latest Chaos incursion that was coming at the end of the Great War of Chaos that's coming at the end of the century, she's noted the kind of gathering of might amongst the Chaos forces. And rather than sit back and try to just hide behind the wall, she's gathered her forces into this big expeditionary fleet and decided to take it to where Chaos lives. Like she's sailed all the way around to the World Pond to attack Chaos in the Sea of Claws, bringing like the best of her troops from the Army of the North. And it's just such a cool idea.
Very cool. And the model again, just both models stunning.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, beautiful kits. And that and the battalion box and a lantern, and I'd be a happy man, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into it in a moment. Make sure we've gotten through all the reveals here. As to what, okay, so that is the last of it.
Right, so the question is, before you click off this, who's doing a Cathay army?
Well, probably I can't even.
I'm sorry, High Elves. It's not you. It's me. It's just not going to work.
Could I briefly just expand a little bit more on Mao Ying? So again, I kind of deep dived a little bit more into the lore on this, and I do want to do a full lore video at some point on Cathay. But my stepbrother studied like Mandarin and Japanese at university, so he speaks both languages. So I said to him when I was preparing to do my video about how to pronounce her name, I kind of sent him the characters from Mandarin, and he was able to help me pronounce it, which literally apparently is pronounced similar to meowing, which is kind of funny. But the translation of her name means wondrous shadow, which when you look at the model is just even cooler.
That's sick. Yeah,
it's a really nice kind of piece of lore that she is like a shadow black dragon, and that's the name. What her name means.
Shadow Wanderer. Yeah.
I was going to post something on the Discord and on Blue Sky and everything tomorrow. We've got a new cat in the house. We've got a little black cat, a little girl.
You should call her Mao Ying, clearly.
We haven't got a name for her yet, but she's very talkative. She's always like warbling and meowing. Mao Ying. I'm going to suggest it. I know what Mrs. Waffle's going to say. She's going to look at me and go, no. But we can try.
You could call her Mao for short. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Was she made in China? You never know.
Cathay, thank you very much.
I think this cat was made in the loony bin. She's brilliant, but she's a rescue.
Just like Mao Ying.
She's about 11 months old. She's crackers.
Every now and again, she turns into a dragon, and it's perfect.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is, before we moved on to the rest of the kind of news, can just sort of throw out there, because I mean, I'll be honest, like this reveal in itself, I don't think anybody would be unhappy if this was all we got anyway for Grand Cathay, because there's a good bit of variety here.
If they just tickled us with some other reveals for other game systems with just the odd bit here and there, and then drop this, I think people would still come away from that reveal quite happy, unless you're just not interested in Old World. But the fact that they did this and Beastmen, Greyherds, and Wood Elves.
Well, how many people, by the way, are not gonna? Have they done themselves a disservice now by showing this? Because are people now going to bother buying the other things? Unless you were dead set on buying the others.
Still going to add stuff to my Beastmen army because I'm starting.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of Wood Elves fans out there that are going to be like, yes, I know what's in that box.
Actually, to be fair, one of the guys on our Discord pointed, I think it was, I can't remember who it was, but someone pointed out the idea that you could do a Cathay-themed Wood Elf army, do war dances on, bamboo poles and stuff, and, Way Watchers ghosting through the kind of a bamboo forest.
This reveal, I mean, I've wanted a High Elves army since my first White Dwarf. So I've waited 30 years. I can wait a little bit longer, to be fair. That's the army I'm going to settle down with. I just need to... I just need to have a violent
with Cathay first. With Cathay first.
I don't see a reveal getting us more excited than this year now. I think we're done. That's it. It's the last episode of Morehammer this year. We can't top this.
And on that bombshell.
I got up for work and I looked at it and I was like, oh god, I'm going to be late for work for a start. I was looking through the reveal, looking at the pictures, and I was just like, right, okay, I'm gonna have to sell loads of stuff because this is happening.
I don't think this is everything. I mean, it's awesome, but I don't think.
No, I don't think it is either. I think there's more to come.
So I covered this a little bit in my kind of video, but there's a whole bunch of other units that feature in Total War.
They got the Royal Guard, haven't we, as well? I forget what they're called.
Celestial Lions, or Celestial Dragons, or something like that.
And then we've got the Jade Lions and the Jet Lions as well.
Yeah, two kind of ginormous, kind of heavy cavalry. They're supposed to be like the similar kind of size to the like Dracoliths from Age of Sigmar, that kind of giant, honking, big. Kind of
you're talking bit bigger than a Tomb Scorpion size, aren't you?
Yeah, basically. But then they also have, the crane gunners that you've got on the gondola, the lantern. There's whole units of those with tower shields that they kind of brace their guns on in Total War. The Grenadiers, those are a whole unit of kind of stuff, and you can imagine those maybe as being like a skirmishing unit in this, to kind of go ahead of the line and soften the enemy up by throwing bombs at them, or I don't know, like maybe running amongst the enemy and then exploding like fanatics. The other one I've seen in the artwork that they show in the video, and if you haven't watched the video for Grand Cathay,
it's narrated by the Total War guy.
It's
really good. Yeah,
it's narrated by Ma Ying.
It's the same guy. Yeah.
Well, it's a woman.
Was it? I thought the part of the narration was a guy. Sorry, I can't
remember. It's all a woman's voice.
It's
now narrating why she's coming to the old world.
Yeah.
But in the artwork, at one point, when she's talking about mastering the power of yin, because it seems to be that Cathay, the magic, is either the power of yang or the power of yin. When she's mastering the power of yin, which is kind of power of wind and night, the imagery that it shows is a whole bunch of humanoid crows flying over her shoulder, which in Total War is this kind of skirmishing unit of Onyx crowmen. And I'm looking at it and going, okay, flying crow assassins? Yes, please.
Gordon's alive.
Genuinely convinced that those are going to make an appearance because they've literally shown them in the artwork linked to the main character that kind of the Grand Cathay army at the moment is framed around.
I wonder if we do get armies of infamy, it'll be the armies of yin and the armies of yang.
Well, if they did the army of yang, then that would be the perfect opportunity for them to do another dragon and to do there's at least two others that are known of. There's the Jade Dragon and the Onyx Dragon that are known about, the army commanders of the East and West in Total War. And to have either of those, like the Onyx Dragon from the artwork, looks like Jagaiti Khan, but like pumped full of steroids.
The thing is, they're gonna want to save a load, though, aren't they, for expansion in the future?
Yeah.
I think there'll be like a royal court and stuff coming out eventually. Maybe, I don't know.
You can only hope, honestly.
Yeah.
Just there's so much this opens up. I mean, again, that we've seen Cathay now, that opens up the path for the armies of Ind, the armies of Nippon. There's a whole part of the old world that up until now we haven't explored.
And as a side note to this as well, I think next year we'll get another new army and probably get Kislev now as well.
Yeah,
I think
we know that they've done the artwork for it.
Yeah.
But they could equally just surprise us and turn around and go, "Hey, no, here's the Hobgoblin army that we teased back in 6th edition. Giant, Mongol horde of Hobgoblin wolf riders led by Ogla Khan coming riding off the steppe to rampage across, the Great Wastes and into the mountains of the World's Edge Mountains and beyond." That would be amazing. Let's have Genghis Khan, but
here's halflings.
If they give me a halfling supplement, that might be the only thing that makes me spend my money on that instead of Cathay. Like if they gave me a halfling army, and here's the loot, we're going to give you an entire army of halflings. Yes, please. The only other thing I was going to say about Cathay was there's a question that it's posed for me. Again, it's something I want to explore in a separate video, but they killed off the old world with the End Times, which I still maintain may not have been their best decision. The End Times books very brief, only hardly touches on what happened in Cathay. And I mean, obviously this implies that Cathay is an empire that is bigger than any other kind of civilization in the world at this point. It's not exactly going to get snuffed out easily. There's a very brief mention in one of the books that all the orcs suddenly decided to team up and just attack Cathay. And equally, there's a mention of the bastion cracking and the Chaos Hordes pouring through the Great Wall. But the only other thing it says is that the Dragon Emperor gathered his court and sailed off across the sea and was never seen again.
Right.
Now, Well, we know that the lizard men fled the old world in their ships and then returned once kind of mortal realms had been built. And there's any number of kind of other characters that have made their way into the mortal realms, like, you know, through trickery in the case of Manfred von Carstein, or, you know, like being resurrected as a Stormcast or something. But where is Cathay then? In the Age of Sigmar, where is Cathay? Might we see Cathay make an appearance in the Age of Sigmar in the future?
Maybe.
You never know. Maybe
I mean, like, literally, we talked about...
Would be pretty sweet.
Well, just imagine, you know, like this fleet of ships suddenly comes sailing out of the mist, and it's the entirety of Grand Cathay that just went. The Dragon Emperor just went, I shall open a portal through time, and we'll just sail straight away from the old end times and straight into the Age of Sigmar.
Now that I've just thought about it, actually, and we're going way off topic here now, but like a dream listing, what would get me into Stormcast? Stormcast with like Cathay calligraphy on their armor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We're going off tangent now.
We are. We really are. But yes, that would.
I wanted to mention that. I just like Cathay's a huge deal. It's very clearly been made a huge deal. So how does it fit into the wider narrative of like the Age of Sigmar?
Well, we'll definitely end up doing, I'm sure, more episodes on deeper diving on this sort of stuff. But
heck yeah.
Shadow in the shadow somehow.
As if it weren't enough that there's Grand Cathay.
Of that is the rest of the old world reveals. Some of which we have seen, but you got the I say Brayheads, not Bray, Beastmen, and the Wood Elf battalion boxes, as we would have expected.
Which I would have been ludicrously excited about if they hadn't brought Cathay. I now only generally, you know, you don't need to sedate me for this one compared to Cathay, where, you know, I've been strapped to a gurney for the rest of this week. I'll be safe at the start. I'm not massively impressed by the contents of the Beastmen battle force. 30 Ungor, 20 Gore, and the kit that I really don't like, which is the Gorgon Cygor kit.
What would you have rather had in there? Like
many other things. There's no Bestigor in there for one thing. Like, well, Bestigor would have been an excellent addition. Yeah. I mean, I don't like the plastic Minotaur kit, but there's no Minotaurs in there. Here you get, you know, 20 Gore and 30 Ungor. Great. You get the weird Cygor giant kit thing, which again, I would rather have had a new plastic in there, you know, something to represent like some replacement Razor Gores or something, anything other than what they've put in this kit. I'm not going to be buying this battle force.
I'm not keen on the Razor Gore models, I have to say, so that wouldn't have been.
There's only one model for Razor Gore.
Yeah. So could have been done. Then obviously you got the Arcane Journal.
The Arcane Journal's quite nice. And actually, I'm fairly chuffed with the Flavor Pamphlets cover. Is pretty close to the one that I'd mocked up for my video on the subject.
Oh yeah. I
had to guess what the cover would look like, and I came pretty close.
Of course, you got we knew they were seen coming. These. Yeah.
I'm pleased that they're coming back because they are lovely models.
Beastmen heroes, yeah, they are nice. The one that came out not that long ago, and then they got rid of him from Age of Sigmar.
They just dragged him back through the mists of time.
Yeah, put him on a square base. Yeah.
No, actually, thinking about it, no Herdstone, which is what I was expecting between one of the plastic kits that they would reveal.
Oh, really?
It actually features in the High Elf book as part of the scenario. Is it literally describes the Herdstone? So I was expecting the Herdstone to get a mention, but maybe it will be coming out. It's just not been shown.
We've obviously seen these things before, haven't we? So yeah, I mean, it's like
you could arm them with bows, you could arm them with hand weapons, you could arm them with spears.
Yeah, exactly. You got returning resin.
It's a bit weird to call him a returning resin because he's not been here yet.
No, he's not.
And I mean, this was Finecast before, so I guess this is now at least the Forge World resin, the giant Beanball thing.
I don't remember this. What is this?
This is the Praeton. I hate this model. It's like a goat being. It's like a moose being sick.
It's like a moose dragon?
It's a great stag from like the Wood Elf realms that has been corrupted by chaos, grown wings, and become supposedly like this thing that lures hunters to their death, then eats them.
I don't
they had what it does remind me of. The new has anybody seen the newest Thor movie where there's the screaming goats?
Yes,
that's what this reminds me of.
Yeah, they had two kits that came out.
I can't see that
time.
Yeah, I know.
The Monstrous Arcanum book. There was this, and there was the Elemental Spirit of Beasts, which is awesome because it's this giant kind of muscular monster man with a giant kind of deer antlered skull head. And I was like, literally, you've got a choice to make the right choice or the wrong choice here, Games Workshop. Bring the Praeton model back or bring the Elemental Incarnate of Beasts back. And they gave us the Praeton, and I will not be buying it. I will use anything other than the Praeton model.
The Java Scythe?
The the Jabberslide is still at least,
a feasible monster.
It's supposed to be ridiculously ugly, and it is ridiculously ugly.
Cockatrix, is it?
The Cockatrix, yes. The Cockatrix at least is nice, and it's always nice to have a model that you can essentially, on an initiative test, turn your opponent's general into stone, which is always fun.
I had that happen before. Returning metals.
Yeah, so some classic metals here, the 6th edition Beast Lords and the 5th edition Sorcerers. I've actually got the one on the left, I think, with the the one with the skull staff and axe over his head. He's got my painting station at the moment. What is nice is the next one, actually, if you scroll sideways, is the next one. This was a limited edition battle standard bearer that they released when 6th edition Beastmen got their army box, and it's nice to see him being re-released as a battle standard bearer for the army as a whole, because he was a limited edition model.
He's actually really cool mini.
He is, and I would have liked to have been able to get my hands on one back then, and it's nice that he is coming back out.
Sure.
Equally, they kind of just casually throw it in here without really making any of a big deal about it. The model on the left is going to be the just generic Warhoof character model. So essentially it's the Centaur generic character. And actually he's a Mordheim model that was produced for the Mordheim Beastman warband. And he is quite cool. He's getting drunk from a big flagon of kind of wine or whatever. The one on the right is the character model that was released for 7th edition Beastmen, and that is Gorus Warhoof. But just by kind of just casually in the description mentioning that he is Gorus Warhoof, he's the second character then for the Beastmen book. Like, I mean, literally, they don't make a big deal out of it or anything, but therefore we know that one of the armies of infamy is going to be centered around Centaurs, because he is the Centaur character. So he is our second character for Beastmen.
That's cool, though.
It is, but it's something. If it weren't for them devoting so much effort to Cathay, they might have made a bigger deal about that.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and then you got the chariots are another thing you could have put in the battalion box, to be fair.
Well, the chariot will be resin and plastic, or metal and plastic even, because they are metal, and it's an old kit. Going back again to 5th edition. It does say more inhumanly strong Centaurs are returning in the form of the Herd and Herd Command, but they don't have a picture of them. Now, I do wonder whether or not there might be some new sculpt there. I don't know. They don't even feature a picture of the Centaurs, which would be a bit weird if Centaurs are going to be a centerpiece to one of the armies of infamy in the Arcane Journal.
Wood Elves.
Maybe, yeah. We'll see.
This is a nicer battalion box.
The Wood Elves, yeah. I love the deer cavalry,
with 2 Wood
by the way.
Elves transfer sheets as well.
Yeah, I mean, for the banners, because it looks like the banners have got funky kind of designs on them. I don't know if you can enhance, Luke, so we can see closer.
I shall see what I can do.
Enhance.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, can you see the kind of runic designs and stuff on the banners?
Yeah.
I wonder if that is transfers.
More than likely. But yeah, I still, to this day, I do love those, the deer cavalry.
Yeah.
They are so cool. Love those models.
And so, yeah, you get 10 cavalry in this, which can be built as either the Sisters of...
versions.
Or how about the hell the ones on the Ladies of the Stags are called. The Sisters of Avalon, they call it Sisters of Twilight or something, the ones on Stags. And then, yeah, the Hunters of the Wild... Hunt is the ones on the left. So you could build the kits as either. And then you can obviously build Eternal Guard with the spears, or the Wildwood Rangers with the glaives. And then you still get 30 Glade Guard in there as well. So you get a lot in there, to be honest.
Yeah, and it names the 2 characters as well, doesn't it? I mean, what did we
just kind of throw away in there? It's a
we guessed, but we weren't right, were we? So if Luke, scroll down a tiny bit. So it's Araloth.
Araloth, Lord of... who actually, interestingly, Araloth is the character who last killed Morgor. So we've got Crownmore hunting for the newly born, newly spawned.
And then Orion, we did speculate could be Orion.
Yeah, we did. And literally, he's on the cover. I mean, he is the cover of the army book, which is a very nice cover.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely it's the beautiful returning miniature, which we'll see further down in a bit. So Araloth is one of those weird ones because he was designed to be a named character model, and then they released him instead as a generic wood elf kind of character. Because he's been ages in Age of Sigmar as just like a generic wood elf wanderer character, But he's back. He's back as Araloth, kind of champion of Ariel.
Yeah, so these are just kind of...
These are all the classic returning
back.
kits.
Yep.
And they are some very, very nice kits. Yeah. Again, I suppose what's interesting is that they haven't shown is what Dryad models will be in the army.
Well, there's been rumours, haven't there, that Dryads are going to get redone. So...
Because again, they don't feature under the returning metal miniatures. They don't feature under the returning plastics. They could be a second wave thing. They could be new models. That is a beautiful Orion model. It really is.
Yeah, it's cool. Very cool.
And we've already seen these guys.
We saw leaks, weren't it?
Yeah. And then the next one is they've released one of the more the giant stag, which does look like an angry moose.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
It doesn't look like a stag. It's not a noble leaping like the cavalry deer. It's just like it's an angry moose. Fitzman, there's a moose.
It's not the laughing cow, is it?
And then the eagle rider or eagle surfer. I did prefer, and actually they do have further down more of a traditional hawk rider. There we are, the wood elf on a hawk who's actually sitting astride the warhawk rather than surfing on it.
You say it's not an elf army complete unless you've got some elf looking majestic, riding a surfing a bird.
I do love that art.
Ooh, hang on a minute. Now read the description there. The rest of the forest comes alive as the Tree King, Tree Man, and Warhawk riders break cover. Now, Tree King. Now that's a new and interesting idea. I don't think that's featured in the Forces of Fantasy. We must check, unless that's the name of the like HQ character version for Wood Elves. Let me just check that because that could be a new secret revealed unit entry, new list.
Indeed.
Wood Elf Realms. Go. General. Treeman Ancient is the HQ option.
What's that on the screen there, Ben? That one.
That's the Treeman. So that is the metal Treeman model that they released again for 6th edition Wood Elves.
I thought these were super funky.
Unless it's supposed to be Tree Kin and it's a typo, because Tree Kin is a special choice.
I reckon that may well be the case, Ben, to be honest.
Oh no, I want to get excited. I like the idea of a Tree King. They could use the classic like Durthuth model. That would be awesome. An awesome idea. I'm going to say I hope that
I'm waiting for the entire half an hour to an hour long video now on this from Ben.
Coming now soon. The Tree King. What is the Tree King? Who is the
get hyped? But that is it. I think for Old World guys, I say that's it. It as the thumbnail will suggest, suggest. It is a fact. It stole the show. Old World stole it.
One more thing for Wood Elves it does mention at the bottom is that they are also getting the classic Beast Pack. That was something that from way back in like 3rd or 4th edition fantasy.
1987.
They did Wood Elves with like panthers and warhounds and all kinds of kind of critters. And I'm assuming that might be one of the new entries that features in the Arcane Journal. Like maybe you have Beastmasters as an option that you can add to your army, which is cool.
For sure. We'll move on though. Probably one of the other bigger reveals. Really, we had we didn't necessarily. We thought maybe we're hoping for Space Hulk related thing, but it turned out it was indeed just another Kill Team expansion, which is sooner than thought, really, because we've only just had the other one revealed. But it's pretty cool. We're getting a Tyranid Cool Team, which is the new Raveners, isn't it? For the Nids. We've been looking for new models for these. And you got the variants as always in a Kill Team.
It's got a head frill.
Yeah, I'm not keen on the head frill, I have to be honest. But the rest of the I think the rest of the model and models in general, I think are a good upgrade on what there was.
I think what's quite interesting about the tails on these is that, so the Tremor Scythe and the Wrecker, their lower halves look more akin to the plastic kit that we've had until recently for Raveners. But if you go back to the first, the head frill, the Prime and the Fell Talon, they look more like the look of the kind of metal ones that were released in 3rd edition. Narrower, kind of more snake-like narrow tails, and
because they're the burrowers. They're the ones in Space Marine 2, aren't they? So where they like in a line, because they've said there's actually going to be rules in this for Kill Team for the Raveners where you can draw a line where they can move underground and pop up to attack the enemy.
Cool. That is very cool.
Space Marine 2 style. So that I'm excited to see how that's going to work. And obviously, I've just started Tyranids the last few months, so we'll definitely pick this up. Yeah, for sure. I thought we'd get these new minis at some point. Like this guy's a very Venom Spitter, very weird looking thing.
For the big
more
hunch
armored
kind
version.
of bug back.
Yeah. It's like he's been doing it for too long, And then the other kill team is like the engineers for Mechanicum. So
that technical archaeologist is really nice,
isn't it?
Well, he's the re-release from the one from Blackstone Fortress, isn't he? Because he was in the expansion for Blackstone Fortress, but they've given him a re-release.
Oh yeah.
And then added a new character model for the Servitor Underseer. And then the gun servitors are the same ones from the Inquisitor henchman's kit, aren't they?
Ashes and Faith, was it?
No, the ones before that. The literally just the henchman one that you got, like the guy,
right,
the Gland Warrior.
You might be right, yeah.
So it looks like a lot of the kind of, I mean, these are new. The Breach Servitor and the Technomedic and stuff. These are all new servitors.
I have to say these don't impress me that much more than the old servitors, really.
No, honest. I mean, there's a nice kind of homage to some of the old servitors in the way that they look. They do look like some of the classic older metal servitors. I do like the fact that essentially you're getting an army of Borg. We are the Mechanicus. Your genetic identity will be assimilated into our own.
In fact, I think this guy might be Patrick Stewart.
Your biological and technological distinctiveness will be added to our own.
Yes.
Unless the Blood Ravens are here, then they're nicking it first.
But yeah, these are very old school, actually. Very, like you say, homage, for sure.
It would be nice, though, again, a lot of the stuff that you get for Kill Team gets rules for 40k eventually, and it would be quite nice to have it, and because the Mechanicus haven't had like a new unit for quite a while, so being able to have units of just servitors in Mechanicus is quite cool.
I forgot a new brood nest, capillary towers.
Yep.
Yeah, the
your 40k to the top terrain
obviously
needs.
Tyranid themed terrain to come with it, and these are actually bigger than they look on here as well. I've seen comparison pictures people have put on here, because if you look at the size of the skull on the base, they're actually decent size.
I mean, they look like they're tall enough to block line of sight from a Space Marine or something.
So it's going to be pretty cool. And they're going to supposedly have rules as well to interact, obviously, with like your gaunts to be able to pop out of them, that sort of stuff for like the co-op missions.
That's cool.
That's going to be good fun. And I did say, and somebody had mentioned it on the Discord, one of my New Year's resolutions was to do a full themed table of terrain. And I think it may have to be Tyranids now after seeing this, and then add some custom bits. That'd be really cool.
I suppose what would be interesting is this suggesting then that the next chapter of narrative for Kill Team is going to all be about kind of Tyranids, or is it just...
It's still around the gun, though.
I think it's just this box.
Because they've said
this box, you think?
They've said that the lore is basically just that these Nids were like obviously under the planet's surface before all this, and the gun emplacement was set up, and now they've risen as they've been disturbed by the gun and everything. So it's
yeah.
It's
you
all
get the
still
dossier,
part of that
don't you,
surrounding.
and the bits.
Yeah, all the usual gumph comes with it. But I'm excited to get hold of the Nids because Tyranids, and the terrain is cool. So yeah, but we move on, and we're in the year of chaos, guys. So other than Emperor's Children, and there are some really, really upset people about this, by the way, on the socials and on the internet. The fact that aside from Emperor's Children this year, Death Guard, World Eaters, and what's the other one? Thousand Suns have each got effectively 1-0 model.
Yes.
Or one new unit, and it's the year of chaos.
Although they are getting new combat patrols and they're getting new big boxes as well. So it doesn't show it in the Warcom article, but they are all getting a big box.
They are. It
won't be new, like actually new units, though, will it? It'll just be regumphed.
It's
adding... the 1,000 Thumbs one, you get 1,000 Thumbs, 1,000 Suns, two squads of Rubik Marines, one squad
Scarab
of Terminators. You get the Sorcerers, and then you get 2 of the new
4 of the robots in total.
Yeah, side robot automata things.
They're basically adding the new. So like the Corn one, it's adding.
So we were nearly right with Butcher Surgeon, weren't we? But this is the Slaughterbound Choppy Chop man.
He's cool.
He is cool.
He's also supposedly way bigger than he looks on here as well.
That looks like a 50mm base, to be honest. That doesn't look like a 40.
Yeah, he's apparently quite big. So it'll be interesting to see what he's like.
Got some nice primary style knee pads there, hasn't it?
Yeah, the battle box that's got him in, I think, has got him, 2 units of Jackals, a unit of the kind of big, beefy, Khorne possessed dudes, and some Chaos Marine, so some World Eater.
Oh, yeah, you mean the 8-bound?
Yeah, the 8-bound, if that's what they're called. Yeah. Yes, I mean, it's got that. I was a little disappointed looking at that it didn't have the new kind of leapy leggy kill team.
The Goremongers. I think they've missed an opportunity with World Eaters and the Codex. They've taken loads of stuff away and they've put the demons in there and stuff. But you don't have to just have kill, maim, burn, choppy chop, berserker.
You wanted the shooty death kill.
Teeth of Khorne. Well, yeah, not just that though. Khorne Terminators or just even Khorne Marines with bolt guns. But
it is the year of chaos, so have a model.
But it's almost like Games Workshop don't know what to do with their own stuff nowadays. It's just like everything's like properly pigeonholed in a certain direction.
You say that, but then Cathay, I think different departments.
Yeah, but that's the specialist design studio. They've got their heads out of their asses, whereas 40k.
I think 40k departments are struggling.
I don't know what they're playing at, but I'm losing my.
Well, this Death Guard mini was obviously shown in the last preview.
Well, everybody knows about this,
and then all the Death Guard fans are there like, oh, hopefully, next preview Adepticon we're gonna get way more new units for the Death Guard. Nope.
Yeah. Probably somebody ordered like Tallyman and got this or something.
Yeah. So I think one of the things that I liked for the Discord was somebody complaining about the Death Guard. I think they've been Charax complaining about the Death Guard and that they haven't had a new infantry unit for ages. And maybe it was kind of borne out by when you looked at the content of the battle box that they're getting, which is going to be this guy, a unit of Blightlord Terminators, 7 Plague Marines, and then the little kind of nippy missile bug mite, cyber mite thing, a plague crawler, bombardier thing, and the hover mower death thing. It's really light in terms of infantry, and the point that Charax made, and they literally this kind of described it for me, is the Death Guard army remains mostly populated by Death Guard middle management. Like it's it's the 40k version of The Office. They are obsessed with here's the accountancy guy, and here's the guy who's responsible for filling the water cooler, and look, here's the guy who fixes the air conditioning. Where are the infantry? Well, literally the only infantry units that Death Guard have are the Terminators, a elite unit of Terminators, Plague Marines, and Zombies. Those are the only units of infantry in an army. Now, admittedly, you can just compile a Death Guard army that is just made up of tons and tons of Plague Marines. But that gets a bit boring after a while.
You could do with some Nurgle cultists, couldn't you, with like auto guns and
all kinds of cool things that you could do. You're like the destroyers are right there. Nurgle was famous. Death Guard were famous for having the destroyer units. Imagine units, an entire unit that is dedicated to unleashing some of the most horrifying weaponry known to mankind.
Just call them Blight Marines or something, and then have them with rad grenades and tox grenades, and there you go.
Yeah, exactly. But then I think they're missing a trick, and I think you're right. I think it is that the 40k team don't necessarily know what they want to do with stuff.
So the only thing I was going to add to all this, and we'll look at the Thousand Suns in a minute. We've seen that they're going to be releasing for each codexes or supplements still for each Marine faction, and it looks like they might be doing this for all the legions now. So. If they're going to do that, you've got to give us more than a model for each release. If you're going to make a big deal out of it and still release codexes
it's almost
for
like,
each
you want to take
legion.
a Rhino? You have to buy that and that book. And
I think it's a bit lazy, but
there
we go. But, Simon, you did predict it and you were bang on the money.
Told you.
Now, Sector robots.
Before we start talking about this, the only one thing I'll complain about is the paint job is naff.
So, whoever painted these is definitely a Tomb Kings fan.
I think I get where they're going with it. So they're meant to look like statues of Anubis and stuff like that. These are all statues that you'd see lying in a Grand Plaza in ancient Egypt and stuff like that. Because they've been pulled from the vaults that have been there since the Great Crusade. But there's even trim on them. If you zoom in and look on the armor pieces, you can see the actual molded trim. Why paint it all a sandy color? They should have done it in a metallic blue with gold trim.
That would have looked awesome.
The traditional Thousand Suns colours. Now, these have been getting a lot of flack and a lot of hate online, especially on Bolster and Chainsaw and stuff like that. I don't think they look that bad. I think the paint job's just crap.
Yeah,
I don't think the paint job does it any favours at all. But I just, I don't know.
I like this that they look like the old Chaos robots from like Space Crusade.
Yeah. I think they're really good. When someone's done a decent paint job on these, and maybe even a little bit of a conversion, these are going to look good. Metallic blue, gold trim, but rocket pods, the feet, the missile, the claws.
The back looks awful though for me as well. I mean, again, I don't think the paint scheme helps there at all. But the back just
the paint scheme definitely doesn't help.
Yeah,
I changed my name, by the way. None of you have noticed.
Oh, how did you do that?
Whilst Ben was talking, I noticed. I didn't want to I didn't want to spoil Ben's thing.
No, I noticed. That's brilliant.
Yeah, Simon. Love it.
I clearly had a psychic.
You didn't even spot me do it.
It's true though. He's psychic.
Horses for courses, but then again, I like Thousand Suns, so there's Plague Marines on my shelf to the right of me. Rubric Marines, sorry.
I think of the 3 Chaos releases we saw in this, these are the nicest of the 3.
Yeah,
it's just the paint job that's cack.
Paint job's shite, yeah. Sorry, but it is.
Also, I'm not entirely sure what the gun is supposed to be. Do we know?
Are they not giant warp flamers? Sorry, if you scroll up, I think it does say.
Does it say? I couldn't tell from looking at it.
On this, or it's
it just says arcane weapons and hellfire missiles. It might go if you go a bit further up. It might tell you.
Nope.
No, it doesn't say.
Just ancient technology.
I think they might be big warp flamers.
I know. There you go.
I don't know.
Okay. And they've all but absolutely confirmed now that they. By the way, in the year of Chaos, they've gotten rid of more models from Chaos into Legends than they've released. Yeah.
I think that's what they meant by year of Chaos. It's Chaos in the 40k office.
Yes. It's a bit of a joke, to be honest. They've got this completely scrapped demons as an actual codex, and it's the year of Chaos, for God's sake.
But they've updated the index.
They have,
and they give you a Christmas detachment as well.
Yeah.
So someone's just accidentally deleted all the Chaos rules, and they're desperately scrabbling around to try and find out what Chaos does.
I might take the piss and convert these into like some sort of demon. I think.
Or a cool artwork, if you could make cooler shabty out of it.
Yeah, look at that.
Wicked artwork for the codex. Very nice.
Yeah, to be fair, the art team have been kicking it out of the park on the covers this year.
Yeah, very cool. And you're going to get your bonus editions as always.
And if you really want to pay all the money in the world, you can have the bonus covers.
And some pizza.
Yeah, and a golden pizza slice. Yeah. Very nice.
For people who have more money than they know what to do with.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, there's your year of Chaos in one small article. Onwards and upwards. Chapter approved mission deck for 40k. The next mission approved. Although they're taking stuff from Spearhead, which is very cool, from Age of Sigmar. Obviously, from how successful that's been, they're doing it for the full-size Age of Sigmar as well. They're having the style missions where you can choose to use the battle tactic, not back tactic, sorry, the what do you call it? Stratagem. Or you can take the mission secondary objective. So you can either choose to score points or you can buff units, etc.
Yep.
And in Spearhead, it works great. It's great fun. So I'm hoping that this will spice things up, and you're getting like the mapped objectives. Finally, they're selling their own ones.
Because they're fed up with third-party companies making all the money out of it.
I did think that. So yeah, you've got that coming for 40k.
Plus, coasters if you need a coaster.
Yeah.
The next one's got to be the one where we can kind of point to Psychic Simon again, who was right.
Yeah.
Because the next one is...
Well, you got this. I don't know if this is what you were on about.
This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I told you Crusade was going to Armageddon.
It's Armageddon. Yep. Psychic Simon on the ball.
Indeed. So you got, Crusade. The next Crusade's going to Armageddon, or back to Armageddon.
It's the fourth War of Armageddon, which they're kind of like neatly, it's a palindrome now. It's Khorne, Orcs, Khorne.
And they put this alongside the, again, another update that Grey Knights players are getting really excited, hoping they'd get lots. And no, instead you had your baby carrier upgraded.
It is a nice baby carrier upgrade. It's got a big ball and chain.
Yeah. I think it's very cool. I don't know how you guys think about these, but I actually quite like Dread Knights. I think they're quite cool. Yeah.
I think they're quite cool.
I mean, take it or leave it, really. I mean, I like Grey Knights as a faction. I think they're ace.
Yeah, they're cool.
I think end of this edition, start of the next edition, I do think we'll see some new Grey Knights. I think before that, we're going to see Logan Grimnar, though. He's going back to Armageddon.
Not on his super sled.
No. Apparently,
through the Rubik Primaris.
He's I don't know if he's gone through the Rubicon or not, but he's coming back. And the rumor is that Arjak Rockfist and Nyal are getting new models as well, because they were both in Terminator armor and everything's been upscaled.
So yeah, I mean, well, so was Logan Grimnar, so upscale him into the upscale Terminator armor as well.
Yeah.
And of course, some cool Codex art again for Grey Knight. So there you go. I assume this will probably literally come out alongside the new Crusade book. So
I'm assuming so, because I mean, it fits the narrative of the Grey Knights.
It's a shame for Grey Knights.
Chaos.
They got the new Castel and Crow, didn't they?
Did they?
Really nice miniature, and it's still firstborn, if you like, or it's Grey Knights, but it's a really good miniature. So we know what they're capable of with Grey Knights.
So sadly, as well, though, no Space Wolves, sadly, for the new edition in the new starter set, though. It's going to be Ultramarines again, probably then for the new starter set.
It'll always be generic Marines in the starter set, always.
I was kind of hoping we'd get Space Wolves or something different this time, but
we got Dark Angels one time.
They'll paint them up.
Years ago.
We did get Dark Angels, but you can paint them up. They might paint them up as a different studio army one day, but Ultramarines being the poster boys that they are now, even to like a meme level poster,
especially after the video games now as well.
Yeah, it's never going to be anything else.
3rd edition, they painted them up as Black Templars.
Yeah, for sure.
But these, now, I've been dreading and praying for new Space Wolves all at the same time, because I thought, are they going to go Wolfie McWolfface, Wolfie Wolf, like they did with the 2011 miniatures, where everything was dialed up to 1 million. There was
Wolfiest of Wolfiness.
Yeah, I mean, Blood Claws are meant to be like little tiny bits of wolf bling, because of the young hot-headed idiots. They've just been given a set of power armor. They want the odd trinket, the odd tooth, and the odd bit. That's it. But people were fielding Blood Claws with long hair and beards and pelts everywhere, and it's like, no, he's only just got here. Your Longfangs should be blinged up. Your Wolfguard should be blinged up. Grey Hunter's middle of the road, but Wolfguard should be a fresh bit of power armor with some bits of wolf stuff. And the heads as well on these new ones, and the chest plates and the legs on all the new armor. I think they've nailed it. I think
the artwork on this new box set, by the way. So you're getting this new, obviously, like battalion.
Well, that artwork's old artwork, actually. That's from a
that's the Council of Wolf Lords. That's from Gathering Storm.
That's cool, though.
It's all gathered around the annulus.
It's a mega bit of artwork, though. It's really good.
I was trying to figure out whether these are an entirely new kit, or if they
is a new kit
upgrade on the Assault Intercessors. And I think you're right. I think they are an entirely new kit.
It's a new kit, yeah.
Which is very cool.
You look at the chest plates and the legs. They've got like the runic gems and stuff like that.
See, I think this. When I saw this, I like Ben's just kind of alluded to. These don't, for me, they don't look a hell of a lot different. But for you, you're a Space Wolf fan, you can see the detail.
Yeah, so somebody's got the dial and turned it down from Wolf to Space Wolf.
They've turned it back. They've turned it from 11 down to 2nd.
Yeah, correct. It's Rogue Trader 2nd edition level of bling was bob on, and the helmets as well. They've not gone for stupid haircuts. They've gone for Space Wolf haircuts, which is still a bit daft. And some of them, you're still not going to get your helmet on your head.
It's got like the
Space Wolves and the cool, but there's Mohawks, there's braids, there's toothy earrings and stuff like that. There's tons of diversity as well in the paint jobs, which I think is awesome, by the way.
Yes,
but look at that dude at the back.
This is an entire planet. There's loads of different tribes they can gather from.
I remember buying the Warriors of Chaos Horsemen, Chaos Marauder Horsemen. So you had the guy with the spiky mohawk, but now they've nailed it with these.
This one's got Wolverine
monobrow.
Yeah, I don't like that one. That looks a bit.
I do like that one.
That one's glaring at sides. We need to do a meme of that one.
Go to the word again. Sorry, back to the beginning. That one. The sergeant guy with the banner thing on his backpack and the
pistol,
the icon
thing. That's a cracking looking miniature. That
it's cool.
Yeah.
That's a great hunt for that.
Because I mean, this is again, it's an entirely new kit. So this is a second.
They've got bolters and chainsaws again. Tell you what else is awesome: bolt carbines.
Hang on, are they bolt carbines?
They're bolt carbines with chainsaws, so they can shoot and move and all that jazzy stuff that you get.
They're like slightly longer than carbines.
Movement 7 as well, and Objective 3. These are going to be a nice little cheeky unit.
Savage little unit, yeah.
See, I haven't finished painting the blooming blood claws that I've already got.
And then we've got.
Do you
think with these size, so you got what they call
Blade Guard veterans, but better.
Wolf Guard head takers, yeah. So yeah, your Space Wolf veteran.
This is your
what do you call them?
Space Wolf equivalent of your Blade Guard veterans, isn't it? But you've got wolves to come and chomp on you as well.
Very cool.
Do you think they'll get rid of pure Fen Region Wolf units now, and you'll only be able to take them in like these units?
I don't think so.
They're going to have to trim the detachment, the list down, aren't they? The data cards or whatever. You know what I mean? I forget what they're called. The entries down. They're going to have to get rid of entries.
This guy's proper Ragnar Lothbrok vibes here. He's very cool.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I like that.
My one concern is I've got like 12 Thunderwolf cavalry or something, and I'm worried that they are going to get phased out.
They're so Marmite.
I was thinking that
people who love them, and then like
I was thinking that there's loads of people that love them, and then there's people that hate them. Me, I can't stand them. I don't like them.
I like them.
Frankly, they are extremely well-selling kit for Space Wolves.
Yeah. I'd be very surprised if they.
I'm only regurgitating what I've read online, but I've seen it in several different places where people are saying they're a massively well-selling kit for Wolves.
They're literally what got me back into Warhammer.
This is a cracking mini as well. I love that style of helmet.
Yeah.
Very cool. But no, they're a very cool new unit.
And then this guy is
leader, man.
Full on badass.
I'm trying to figure out, because they don't show you what the third. I'm assuming it's an axe, the third weapon option, because you got sword, hammer, and then the third one's cut off, and you can't see. I
think that might be the sword again.
Maybe I was just wondering if it's like an axe or something.
It looks like it from where the arm's coming out. It looks like.
It'd be nice to see some shield variation, but it is nice, and it's nice that the Crux Terminatus is still on there as well.
Cool model though. Very cool. And the new Wolf
and
Priest
then the Wolf Priest as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the hooded version.
I like the hooded version best.
Yeah, anything that goes to Wolf, I don't think so. Like the more
I don't mind. I don't mind the odd Wolf helmet. I think it's the red actually that I don't like.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the red just stands out a bit too. I don't know. It's a bit weird.
Usually, most legions, the priests tend to just mix up the color, don't they? Like go opposite color to whatever the legion color is, and then they just
like
stand
this,
out.
That's pretty damn nice.
Yeah, pretty cool. Obviously, you got the Codex and the special edition, and then another updated roadmap. So obviously salamanders. I don't know what that might be Votan.
Votan.
And then Imperial Fist.
Imperial Fist. So salamanders and Imperial Fists.
So you're looking forward to a new hero model, Imperial Fist fans? Yeah, that's coming.
So you're getting Vulcan Hestan for salamanders, Lysander for Imperial Fist. That's my guess.
I'm going to go completely wild out there and go that you'll get Vulcan and like an entire unit of some kind of special salamander unit. Like maybe they'll you got the companions for Dark Angels, and like they added the headhunters for wolves, an entirely uniquely salamander unit. Like maybe I don't know, maybe like some kind of questers or
Drake hunters or
Drake
Guard or something like that. Yeah, Imperial Fist. I reckon Lysander, get a new version of him, and then maybe Pedro Cantor, please.
Cool. I mean, well, you're saying it could equally be a Crimson Fist, couldn't it? We're assuming Imperial Fist.
Well,
it could be a
paint job wise, I think that is pretty much an Imperial Fist the way it is. But there's nothing to stop them saying, by the way, the Sons of Dawn again, Darnath Lysander and Pedro Cantor.
Yeah.
And then confirmed separate.
To come back, but I think he's dead now, isn't
he? Yeah, that's true. And confirmed pretty much separate Chaos Knights, Imperial Knights as well.
Yeah,
which is
cool. Leagues of Votan new flyer. You heard it here first.
That fits probably. To be fair,
it's on the artwork for the box set in the left hand side. There's a Leagues of Votan flyer on the art.
Well, interesting. Just noticing the Dark Age, so the Black Templar model on there. So we've got a new model for the Grey Knights, but we haven't seen anything new for the Black Templars. Do you think they'll get a new model?
I think they're going to get an ancient, like a banner bearer or something like that.
Oh, that would be quite cool.
Well, there was a rumor that they were getting one, weren't there? And then it never turned up. So
that would be quite cool, though. That would be a uniquely kind of a fitting thing for them.
That would make a lot of sense. And then the brief section for Age of Sigmar from
and then there was Age of Sigmar.
Yeah. Aside from, I guess, like I say,
see,
Grand
they're just
Theft
waiting
Cathay, I
for
guess.
their moment in the sun when they can show off Chaos
I'm
Dwarfs.
sure, yeah.
That's what it is. They couldn't do it today with
Very
Cathay as well, because people's heads would explode, mine included.
But they are, to be fair, Spearhead's been a massive success for them and for Age of Sigmar in general when we had the release last year.
Yeah.
So we're now getting the second season for that, which is probably long awaited now, really. Sand and Bone, so we're going into, is it Shaiish? Shadow Realm. So that'll be cool to see what it adds in terms of the new objectives and battlefield things.
Some of the Warcry scenery in the picture there, that's the Warcry starter set scenery that they created.
Pretty much. So yeah, and then you get another double-sided board as well. Book as well. So you got Fusel Platoon Cities of Sigmar. Yeah, massive gun line. That'll be nasty to play against.
This makes you happy.
Sunblood Prowlers. Yeah, this is pretty cool. So it's literally the sun worshippers of the Seraphon. So you got like the Salamander and all that in there. Yeah, and this is the new Underworld's warband.
Oh, cool. That is fun.
I believe. I can't remember what it's called.
I went to Chilcon last weekend.
Yeah.
So I met Sprugoons there. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
No.
Yeah, he is a big fan of Spearhead. I was having a good chat with him, and I said, we'll have to get you two chatting together because he's a fan of Lizardmen as well. And we're talking about the Spearhead.
Get him on here.
Now, it's a great way to playing into the box. So I said, I'll get you two talking about that.
Maybe when we get closer to the release of the new
Lovely
Spearhead,
guy. Really nice to meet him.
Come on, and him and Luke can geek out about Spearhead and stuff.
For sure. I'm always happy to geek out with people about Lizardmen. The other Spearhead, you got some Ossiarch Bone Reapers. That's a very elite Spearhead right there.
I don't like these.
No, I don't like those at all. I think
I don't like the faction, but
Ossiarch never liked either. Yeah, they're basically a B-Tech bloody Tomb Kings army, aren't they? Really, let's be honest. Ogre More Tribes, Scrap
you buy Tomb Kings of Poundland.
Basically, yeah.
So harsh.
But anyway, Ogre More Tribes are the last one, I believe. That's quite a cool Spearhead.
Thing as well, isn't it? The hunter dude with the crossbow. He's an Underworld character.
Yeah. The name was on the tip of my tongue.
It's a brilliant name, that Scrapglut.
Yeah, that's a nice mixed Spearhead in there. You got the Iron Guts and the scrap launcher, I think, isn't it, at the back?
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. So yeah, that is literally Age of Sigmar. But you got the
and you get some posters.
Sorry, you got the new General's Handbook, which, as I say, looks like it's going to go the Spearhead route now, full-size Age of Sigmar, because you got the different objectives with the different images on them, which works really well in Spearhead, so I look forward to that, to be fair.
And some coasters.
Yeah, and then I wouldn't really say an updated roadmap for Sigmar, because we haven't seen anything new for this one, so nothing much
next
there.
Deakin, Blades of Corn, Caradron, Nighthaunt, and then Flesh Eater Courts is the shadows the one on the right.
Is it Flesh Eaters for definite? We don't think it's Blades Marathi. What do you call it?
Oh, well, okay, yeah,
it could be. Yeah, I mean, people seem to be saying online Flesh Eaters, so, but I mean, it could easily be any of them, couldn't it?
Nice little gap at the bottom there for Chaos Dwarfs, isn't there? Because he's so short, you can't see
now. Soulblight Gravelords. I mean, obviously, that does imply that Soulblight Gravelords are going to be releasing in the very near future.
I'm not entirely convinced. Sadly, for Sigmar players, we're going to get a hell of a lot for all that stuff either, but we'll see. And that's pretty much it for the Adepticon reveals. However, for any of you Horus Heresy fans who were sad that you didn't get anything at Adepticon, we still had a few bits over the last couple of weeks. The day after, I believe, we had on Heresy Thursday. We had,
like a kebab after a particularly heavy night out.
Yeah,
they released the Mechanicum stuff.
This is like eating a giant meal at a restaurant. This is the mint that they give you at the end when you leave it.
It's wafer thin.
I think this was actually the previous Thursday, to be fair. This is Imperialis.
Like a wafer thin mint.
Because otherwise, if we don't show off this stuff, Heresy fans will get angry with us. So there's Imperialis heavy weapon, heavy tanks.
Did they do the Kraknos as well, did they?
The what?
The Kraknos tank as well, was that one of them? Yeah.
Yeah, so you got like the different tanks here.
Doesn't show the Thanatar actually, does it? The kind of big stompy.
Maybe that was the previous week and we missed that actually, but I think there is in there somewhere. Yeah.
And then this was on the 20th of March, weren't it? And then there was one.
And you got this.
The nights were the day after. Yeah.
Yeah. So just more of, because we saw some of these last time we were on. So you got more of the what are they called? The Knights Magera or Mahera.
Yeah, this is Knight Atropos, and then you've got the big, actual, massive Stompy Knight at the bottom, and you with the conversion beam that gets more powerful the farther away it is, because the beam gets more powerful.
To be fair. Yeah. Yeah, you got different weapon options on.
Yeah, there you go. So the conversion beam it carries on each arm. The beam gets more powerful as it travels towards its target.
Pretty cool.
So yeah, they could be pretty beasty.
And again, you get some of these in Titanicus and whatnot as well. So all good for you guys. But that is also Heron, the brief bits that we got for that. We've taken our time over this tonight, to be fair, but it's been worth it, especially with the Grand Cathay stuff.
They haven't showed the big stompy robots for Legions Imperialis yet. The Thanatar and Thalix.
Oh, I know what it was. It was a Saturday pre-order thing. That's what I saw. But yeah,
like the 30k scale ones they've revealed in plastic, but the Legion scale one they haven't yet.
Right.
So that might be coming in a few weeks.
Did you guys want to end with a brief hobby updates?
Very brief one, I think, at this point.
We're about hour 20 in, so yeah, we could probably quickly get it in. Sai, I know you played a bit of Halo.
Played some more Halo Flashpoint. I played the Spartans, and Simon, my other mate, he was the Sangali Mercenaries. Good game. I forgot what a good game it is, actually. Like there's some weapon pickups on the board. You can pick up different weapons and stuff like that. We played Oddball, which is like an objective you've got to pick up. I don't know if you ever played it on the video game. You pick the skull up.
Yeah.
So you can only score points if you kill someone while you're holding the Oddball, or every time your opponent ends an activation. If you've got it, you score a point. It was first to 11 or 6 turns. Changed hands a couple of times. Some good kills on it as well. Some lucky shooting rolls from me, and some lucky saving rolls from him as well, and vice versa. But then he picked up a weapon called the M41 Spanker. I don't know if you got to the next. I don't know if you've got the other pic. Have you got another picture?
Okay.
I haven't. So sorry. I've already got
basically
that one.
That tower that you can see there. There's a high.
It's a nice cardstock scenery.
Yeah, no, it is actually. So that high tower that you can see on the right. The lower level of it, I had my sniper on there, and he fired this M41 Spanker. Anyone who plays the video game will know what it is. And it's ridiculous. I think it might have been, there's some competitions and tournaments that say you can't use it. He basically blew my Spartan off the board, and I think it's still flying somewhere through Charlie.
That sounds fun, though.
Absolutely wiped me off the board. It was hilarious. I said to him, I said, that is broken. We were laughing our heads off. But yeah, no, it was a good game. I won. But like I say, it was a swingy game, so it made it really fun.
I'll be looking forward to trying this out at some point.
They just released a load of new stuff as well. The brutes, I can't remember what they're called, like the guerrilla style guys in the big suits of armor. And some more fire teams as well. Some different Spartans been shown off.
Cool.
But yeah, no, it's definitely. I would definitely recommend giving it a try. It's easy to pick up, and it's a cracking game.
Nice.
Cool.
And then Ben, I know you got your.
I'm continuing my Beastman's on the decent Minotaur, the old metal school one. I've got one of my Minotaurs done, and two of them, another two are almost done. This coming week, I am going to be going to Warhammer World for a day out gaming against some of the guys I know who I've known for a few years now online, but never met in person. So that's going to be really interesting and cool. And we're going to play some little 500-point games of Warhammer the Old World. I'm really looking forward to it.
That'll be good. Sounds good. I'll quickly fling through, because I've had a few games, so I can. I've got a picture for each one. Did an Old World game, Tomb Kings versus my Skaven for the first time. And the game was very close until probably turn 3, where his chariots just completely tore open my right-hand flank. But yeah, it was a good fun game actually, but it was more of a teaching game because it was a new player I was against. So I was basically teaching him the game really, so it was more of one of those. The same week, I also played another game of Ravaged Coast for the campaign we're doing for Age of Sigmar.
Oh, yeah.
My Skaven against some Khorne, which was a crazy game because I literally have Scryer, which is shooting, and he had Khorne, which is full-on combat. So it was just a case of my clan rats forming a wall in the middle and my gun line sitting behind it, zapping the hell out of him.
Even general there going, at 400 cubits, squeak, squeak, open fire!
It was a case of my Skaven slowly dying and him winning the game overall, but because in this campaign it's all about collecting the Emberstone shards, my Skaven were running around the edge of the map just picking up all the Emberstone and blowing up all over the place and trying not to drop it and blow up. So at the end, I had more Emberstone than him, but then he'd won the game. So in the campaign, I won, in a sense, which is what makes these fun. I've been really enjoying those because there's kind of the added thing of that. And then last night, before heading off on holiday next week, I got a game in with my Tyranids, the Grey Horde, because I haven't painted any of them yet, sadly. And the one Screamer killer in the middle that I have painted. Has anybody ever seen Pleasantville?
Yes.
He was literally my Screamer killer was the guy in Pleasantville where he's the only one in colour. And the others are like, why on earth is he in colour? It's
why
very
is he
strange.
So happy?
But I did manage to pull off a win against the Necrons. However, we did not get any biomass, of course.
Oh,
we were very sad.
Is that a red leather dice bag at the back there or something? I can't see what it is.
Yeah.
At first, I thought somebody were wearing like MC Hammer pants or like 1980s Michael Jackson pants.
It's very much that vibe, yeah. But now he's got a massive dice in there, Chris. Yeah.
Touch this.
But yeah, that was my games. And then quickly before we finish, because it is the end of March, my final March for Crag entry, we've got Calgar with his Victrix Honor Guard.
I've got till Sunday, I'll be right.
Much less than I've had a chance to do in the end.
Good then.
That's true. We've got the weekends now. We could paint something
before the next podcast. Yeah, we'll show them off next time. But also representing alongside me this year for the March from a Crag. Nobody else could be bothered this year properly. My friend Esbarnet, our friend Esbarnet of the channel, also got
His
in.
looks really, really cool.
Yeah,
it's very cool.
Lovely blue.
It's the sergeant, no, lieutenant, isn't it? The
Phobos
is it?
Yeah.
Phobos lieutenant of looks like
from the
6th company, 7th company from the trim.
Yeah, it's the one from the Leviathan, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you've got a little bit of a fetish.
I love how you've done the blood on that blade, dude. Very cool. Very nice.
Really good paint job.
Yeah. So there we go, representing March from a Crag. But that will be, guys, hobby updates for this week and the episode, because it's been a long one. Indulging ourselves in the grand light of Cathay. And it's been an amazing one, amazing reaction for sure. I hope you guys have enjoyed it as well. I'm glad I was able to get it in the end as well with you guys. So good suggestion, Sai. I managed to get it in. Psychic Sai, he's on it again.
But guys, I didn't fancy sharing it all myself because I'd get it wrong.
Didn't want to do the admin.
Yeah, I didn't want to do the tech side of it. I'd break it. Plus, I just felt with it being Cathay and everything, it needed the three of us to get giddy over it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Before we go though, Sai, where can we find you?
Usual place on YouTube at Hobby Waffle, Blue Sky, and Facebook, Instagram, Reddit as well. I'm always on Reddit talking about stuff in various different communities. I'm doing a ChillCon review video this weekend. I went to ChillCon last weekend. Absolutely brilliant. Far exceeded my expectations. And I've got to give a massive shout out to a guy called Rich Goss. He was running a demo game of Starship Troopers, and it's called Bourbon Outpost. And it's like fan-made rules based on the old Alien vs Predator rules. So it's all D20 based. He had this massive theme board. They were all in costume as well.
Oh, wow.
So there's loads of arachnids on the board. He had some 3D printed miniatures of the mobile infantry, which I've just bought from the same guy who he got them from because he recommended them. They're absolutely stunning. I'll be posting pictures. And it was one of the best games I've ever played. It really was. The rules are designed to be stacked against the mobile infantry. Sorry, I'm going to go off on one now, but I'll post some pictures on Instagram. But basically, you'd land your drop ships, you investigate this distress call. And you had these big cards with like orders. Like one of them was get me that uplink. So then you end up going back to this outpost. It's like Whiskey Outpost on the film. It's called Bourbon Outpost. You get on the uplink and call in extraction because all these bugs are coming at you from out of these caves. There's like tons and tons of bugs, tanker bugs, and we had 2 squads of troopers, so we basically only had 10. So I got on the uplink, called the boat down, and then we had to roll a D3. Oh, that was it. He says, "What's the next order? What do you want to do?" And I went, "Kill them all," because that's what he says in the film. And the next order was kill them all. So then he said, "You've got to survive for D3 turns." So Simon said to me, he went, "Si, don't roll a 6." I went, "No, I won't." He went, "Just roll a 1 or a 2." Of course, I rolled a 6, didn't I? So we had to survive for 3 turns. They broke through the wall. My squad got wiped out entirely. Simon's did some decent shooting. And the boat landed on the pad. He came and dropped this big Viking dropship on the pad as well. He had all 3D printed ships. And he said, you're out of range of the boat, so you can climb down and try and make it to the dropship and risk getting attacked by these arachnids, or you can jump and run to the dropship, but you got to make an armor save. We had 2 troopers left, so he jumped them both off the wall. One died from the fall, and 1 man made it out to tell the story and lift off, and we got away with it before all these bugs just poured into the outpost. And you could take the walls off this terrain that he built as well. So when the dice tell a story, it was absolutely epic. It was basically like playing that moment in the film Whiskey Outpost, but 1 trooper made it out.
Did you manage to get video footage of the game then?
Not video footage, no, because I was too excited. But I've got some pictures of the game. But yeah, Rich Goss and the other guys who was there. I think they're going to Salute, and they'll be at some other games as well.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, the Yorkshire Renegades it was as well. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. They were the highlight of my day. But Chilcon was superb. Everyone that ran it, great job by everyone else. There's quite a few decent names there. Peachy was there, Louise Sugden, loads of different traders, Warlord Games.
Seems to be getting bigger every year, yeah.
Yeah, some decent traders. And Transatlantis Games were there. Peter and Sam from Transatlantis Games with 2 thin coats. Yeah, highly recommend it. When it's on next year, I would highly recommend going.
Awesome stuff. Thanks, Si. And Ben, I know you've got your new video out as well, so people check that out because it is great.
Yes, go and watch that.
Yeah, more video footage of me gibbering about Cathay. Come and check out my video on that. I will also. I got a game in. Actually, I didn't get any pictures of it. But I got a game in against Michael. Just testing out my Border Patrol force in advance of the games this week. And I
thought you was going to say I got a game in with Grand Cathay.
No, yeah, I got a game in with Grand Cathay. You guys didn't get the starter box from Games Workshop? No. Michael, like Funkadron from the Discord, he used his Wood Elves against my Beastmen, and I exposed the glaring difficulty that my Beastmen have, which is that they couldn't keep up with the Warhawk Riders that just flew in a circle around me, peppering me with bowfire. So I very rapidly went and dug some Warhounds out of my bits box and started painting them up to take for this week. But anyway, while we were doing that, we also filmed my review of the High Elf Arcane Journal flavor pamphlet. It's the first one I've done with a guest reviewer, because since Michael's played High Elves in pretty much every edition, it would seem ideal to get him in to do a review with me.
Look forward to watching that.
So we filmed that. That's hopefully going to be up next week.
Nice. Yeah, another Morehammer community member on one of Ben's videos. So go and check it out, guys. And as for myself, as always, you'll find me here, and of course, mostly on Blue Sky nowadays. Yeah, and I'll look forward to the next episode, guys. As always, we'll see you next time. Happy wargaming. Bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya. Have a good holiday, Luke.
Cheers.